All right, it's time to go have a little fun. We've got the 18-foot bass buggy hooked up, trying to get all the camping gear and stuff in the back of the truck. One thing about these 5-foot boxes, they're kind of tight when you start loading all your stuff in there. I got a little bit of everything back in there though. I've got extension cords and tools and gas jug, a couple of fans to run in the tent because it's going to be hot, sleeping bags, fishing gear. Got a little bit of everything in there. And the cool thing is we can put the cooler and that kind of stuff up in the pontoon boat. So yeah, we're gonna head down the road tomorrow and have a good time down at the lake. Boy, this thing is dirty. Look at all that nasty straw and stuff that's in there. You can tell this stuff's been stored away for a long time. We just don't get a lot of opportunity to go camping anymore. And this year it's been really hard because of fuel prices too. So we're gonna bite the bullet and go out and have a good time tomorrow anyway. And it'll be neat to see how the Frontier handles towing the pontoon boat. These things are not really all that heavy because they're all aluminum. So I think total package weight here is well within spec. So we should be fine, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of fuel economy we can get totally loaded up. We're going to have stuff inside the cab too, like our clothes and some of the things we don't really want to get roughed up back here in the pontoon boat. We'll see. I'm expecting maybe like 15 miles per gallon would make me happy. But yeah, we'll go out tomorrow and have a good time and see. So stay with us. So we made it to the campsite. Unfortunately, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning, so we're kind of hanging out in the truck for the moment. There's the boat ramp way down there that you can't see because the camera won't focus as usual. But anyway, we dash is showing 11.5, so realistically you're looking at about 9.5. After we had to fill the truck up, it kind of readjusted to where it is accurate now with the pontoon and all the weight that we've got. So about 9.5 miles per gallon. Now we went across the Catskills, and with the truck and my son and I in here and a full tank of gas and the pontoon, just the whole total package, we were right at 8,000 pounds. So not too terribly much weight, but 8,000 pounds going down the road with this V6 engine. Looks like it works out to about 9.5 miles per gallon. Actually, you could say 10 because we've been sitting here idling for a little bit, maybe 15 minutes or so. So it's probably gone down just a bit. But anyway, if you're going to tow pretty heavy with this truck, we're not even really heavy yet, but we're starting to get on the heavy side. You're looking at about 10 miles per gallon, which is par for the course for any truck that I've towed with. So no surprise there. Now we just have to watch radar and hope that we don't have any hail or tornadoes or any of that kind of crap. And hopefully this weather will clear up here shortly and we can get out and start putting our tent up. And then I would like to get down there on the water and play some more. Best camping weather ever.
You need onions? Don't crush them yet. You're supposed to let them get good and juicy.
Well, we've had a really good time here at Barren River Lake. Unfortunately, I think I'm coming down with another illness, which really sucks, but we had a great time. It stormed all night long the first night, but yesterday it ended up turning into a nice day, and then today is absolutely beautiful out here. So we've been doing some swimming and boating and fishing and camping. We slept in tents on the first night when those big thunderstorms came. We ended up getting out and hopping into the Frontier and slept in there. It wasn't great, but it got the job done. I wouldn't recommend trying to sleep in a Nissan Frontier unless you have to. But I was just afraid that the tent wasn't gonna hold up, and actually it did hold up pretty well. So we gotta get our campsite torn down, and we're gonna try to head out of here pretty soon. But my son's down here fishing again, so I'm gonna go see if he's catching anything. I mean, just look at how beautiful this boat ramp area is. They've let the boat ramp is actually kind of grown up a little bit with weeds, but it's a beautiful area. Very scenic and kind of off the beaten path too. There's not a ton of traffic down here like you normally see at a lot of boat ramps. I think I'm gonna have a seat on this big log right here because he's way down there fishing. I didn't know where he had gone to, but I can see his legs out from under that tree down there. See? So I'll have to wait until he comes back over here and catch up with him. Time to go on a hike. A hike through the woods. This would make a good ATV trail. This really is a nice hiking trail though. It's really wide, so you don't have to walk through weeds, but it is pretty back here. I've been to a few state parks in Kentucky. I haven't been to this one before, but it's pretty nice. I've got just about everything if you want to do. We're going down here to another fishing hole, and then when we get back we're going to go over to the beach and let the kids swim. But of course they've got a giant lodge and a marina, cabins that you can rent to stay for the weekend or for the week. A little bit of everything down here. Looks like we made it to the water. Awesome. There's been a lot of people fishing down here this weekend, but I haven't seen anybody catch anything so far. Hopefully he'll have better luck over here in this spot.
Ready? Not us. We have to yell and carry on like we don't have any sense. Stick your hand in there and grab one.
Okay. Do not touch those grasshoppers.
So this is the beach area where we can swim. Well, the kids can swim. I'm not getting in there, but the kids love it. Looks like it's going to be kind of busy today. It's nice though. Sometimes I guess they have a lifeguard, but not today. Cool. We stopped for lunch and the truck is doing a good job, but my goodness, this fuel economy is atrocious. Getting about 8.5, almost 9 miles per gallon. If you do the, you gotta subtract 2 from that because the dash is optimistic. But that's just terrible. I'm thinking that this pontoon boat is just extremely non-aerodynamic. It creates a ton of drag, because I should be doing a little better than that. But the farther we drive, the more this is going down. So I'm gonna have to stop for gas somewhere before we get home. In fact, that's probably our next stop. Make him go out and pump it when he gets done with this Sunday. All right, it's time to fill this Frontier back up again and see where we're actually at. See if it really comes out to 8.5 miles per gallon. I hope not, because that would be one of the worst MPG figures that I've ever had on a truck, towing or not. That would just be atrocious, but we will see. Here in just a minute. Looks like this BP station regular is running about 4.29 today. So it's gonna take, gosh, probably $70 or $80 to fill it up. All right, so 175 miles. We put 19.3 gallons back in it. That comes out to 9 miles per gallon. 9 miles per gallon is not too great. Having said that, we've got the whole truck completely loaded down in the cab, in the bed, and we're pulling a pretty good sized boat. But still, I was hoping for a little better than 9. Oh well, it is what it is. So we just got back home. We had a great time at Barren River Lake State Resort Park. That's a mouthful, but it's a great place. Like I said, I've been to a few different Kentucky state parks, and this one was pretty nice. The kids loved the beach. They had a nice, well, they've got several nice boat ramps if you want to go out on the lake like we did. They enjoyed fishing, and they've got tennis courts and cottages and everything. I mean, it's a great place to spend a weekend or even a whole week, and so we had a good time. Usually when we go camping, we go do the off-road thing, riding trails and four-wheeling and that kind of stuff, but it's nice to do some other type of camping every once in a while also. As for the Frontier, it did a great job. As far as power goes, this truck has a tremendous amount of power. The V6, the new 3.8 V6 hooked up to the new 9-speed is fantastic in this truck. We were hauling a pretty good load, and then we also had the big pontoon boat out back, and I mean, there's just no lack of power whatsoever. It did a great job pulling all that weight. Didn't lose speed on hills at all. The engine never got hot, transmission never got hot. So they've got this truck set up pretty good for towing. The one thing I will say is the fuel economy is pretty miserable. And, I've towed with a lot of mid-size trucks and all of the full-size trucks that are out there in the half-ton category. All of them, if you've got a pretty substantial load on them, they all end up in that 10 to 12 mile per gallon ballpark, give or take a little bit. I mean, when you really start doing some towing with the truck, they all get pretty miserable mileage. But I was a little surprised at how much this one lost. I mean, it'll average 20 miles per gallon around town when you're not towing or hauling. And I took a highway trip, last week when we went to the other lake with my other friends. I didn't have a trailer in tow, just pure highway there and back, and it was getting about 26. So that's really good mileage when not towing. And so for it to lose that much just because I hooked a pontoon to the back of it, that was a little disappointing. But again, high-powered engines use a lot of fuel. I mean, it takes fuel to make power, right? So I guess that's just kind of how it is. But the other thing I don't like, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I probably have, is the cruise control. The programming on that needs some work because they've got it. It's really hard to describe, but I think they've got the cruise control programmed on this to not let it lose any speed at all. Most trucks, if you come down a grade and then level out and then start to pull up a grade, the cruise control will allow the truck to lose a couple of miles per hour, maybe 5 miles per hour, and it will gradually downshift as it needs to and gradually build you back up to the speed that you set it at. This one doesn't do that. If you set the cruise at say 65, it tries to keep the speedometer right at 65 all the time. And in order to do that, as you come down a grade and start back up again, it will downshift 3 or 4 gears. It'll put you back in the seat. The tachometer swings around to like 5,300 RPM. The engine gets really loud. It snaps your head back. There's just no reason for that. No reason for that at all. It's not gradual at all. It's very violent. And they really need to kind of tone that down. I mean, you don't have to keep, you know, the exact same speed. It's okay to lose a couple of miles per hour and then build back up. Anyway, so the cruise control programming could use a little work, and the fuel economy wasn't so great. But that's my only complaints, really. I mean, as far as the performance of the truck, it did great. I would say that probably in the gasoline V6 category, this is the best one that I've had so far. I even like it better than the Pentastar and the Jeeps, which is saying a lot because that engine is awesome and has won a lot of awards over the years. But yeah, this new combo here in the Frontier is great. So good job. Truck did a good job. And like I said, we had a good time. So hopefully we'll get to go somewhere else and do something different next time. My buddies, you know, they had some really nice campers, and you know, we slept in a tent, and now it's kind of making me want to go buy a camper. But gosh, anyway, I'm getting out of here. We'll talk to you guys later.